21 Pilots are one of the biggest bands of the last decade. Even if you aren't very familiar with the band, you're probably familiar with some of their songs. Stressed Out, Ride, and Heathens were radio juggernauts back in 2016 and 2017. And in the years since, they've had plenty of other songs you've probably heard in stores or on radio stations on Spotify. Songs like Shy Away, The Hype, Saturday, and Chlorine get pretty regular airplay. For the most part, 21 Pilots are pretty well liked. They're not the most critically acclaimed act to ever exist, but they're far from a poorly received band. Their albums consistently sell millions of units and have drawn a huge group of devoted fans called The Clique. But before the success of Blurryface in 2015, before the major label debut album Vessel in 2013, there's an album that sticks out a bit in their discography. That being their self-titled album from 2009. And I've noticed in my time on the internet that it isn't always looked back on as fondly as I look back on it. So in this video, I'm going to defend the self-titled album by 21 Pilots and show you why it's one of my favorite albums by them. Hey, it's me, Megapleb, and this is In Defense of Self-Titled by 21 Pilots. Let's start at the beginning. The moment the first song on the album, Implicit Demand for Proof, starts, you can immediately hear one of the best parts about this entire project. That is Tyler Joseph's beautiful piano playing. Now I'll be honest, I don't play much piano. I'm a musician, yes, but piano has never been my strong suit. But every time I hear the intro to this song, I get a feeling I can't quite describe. It doesn't totally feel sad, but it's definitely not a happy melody. It feels melancholic, almost like you've gone through pain and come out the other side. Even this early in Tyler Joseph's career as a songwriter, he was able to craft some simple yet moving piano parts. Let's look at another example in one of the best songs on the album, Addict with a Pen. The piano absolutely carries this song, and much like Implicit Demand for Proof before it, it carries this melancholic feeling that just hits you the moment you press play, perfectly meshing with Tyler's introspective lyrics, seemingly about his own self-worth and even maybe his relationship with God. Again, it's deep stuff, but that's what makes these piano parts so good. They make these deep, sensitive, and sometimes dark subjects on the album that much more potent, making you feel the emotion of the lyrics before you even hear the lyrics themselves. And with that thought, the second line of defense for this album is the lyrics. The lyrics on this album are emotional, to say the least. Tyler Joseph wrote every single song on this album, and even though this was 21 Pilots' first album, his songwriting ability is on full display. Emily Carter from Kerrang! Magazine said this in her review of the album: "The quality of the songwriting here is already superb. These aren't chart-topping bangers, sure, but the impact of these songs cannot be understated. And honestly, I don't think I could have said it better. So many moments and so many lyrics in these songs just genuinely make you feel something. Even if it isn't always obvious what Tyler is writing about, as some of these songs are pretty cryptic and metaphorical, you still end up feeling something. For example, take these lines from A Car, a Torch, a Death. Now I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't really know what these lyrics mean exactly, but that's okay. It means something to me, and every time I listen to this song, without fail, it always hits like a ton of bricks. And that's what I love about this album, and the songs and the lyrics on this album. They have so much depth, so much emotion. And whether you understand the actual meaning behind the lyrics as Tyler Joseph intended them, you can still pull something from these lyrics, relate to these songs, and feel something because of the music. Hey y'all, Editor Pleb here. While I was editing this video, I actually decided to look into what these lyrics meant, and it was a lot deeper than I ever thought it was going to be. So I don't have time in the video to go into every little detail. It would take probably genuinely about half the video just to explain what this song is about. But I'm going to put the genius lyrics explanation that I found on screen. You can pause it and read it, or I'll put a link to it in the description. But please read it. It goes into like everything that I'm talking about in this video. It's really deep and really good. Okay, back to the video. Bye. Finally, my last line of defense for this album is a more technical one, and that is Nick Thomas's bass playing. Now, bass in general can often go overlooked in music, and I feel like that's true with this album. In the years and albums to follow, 21 Pilots became a duo, and Tyler Joseph took over pretty much all bass duties on their albums and songs. But I feel like this album benefits greatly from having a dedicated bassist in Nick Thomas. It brings a lot of flavor to the album that I believe it greatly benefits from. Just listen to the bass line that Nick Thomas plays during the verses of Trapdoor. Now the bass is absolutely carrying this song, and that's not a bad thing at all. Tyler on piano is just hitting chords on every beat, and the drums play a mostly straightforward rhythm, letting the bass fill in the groove so nicely while Tyler absolutely pours his heart out on vocals. It's a really well constructed song. It's great to listen to. Nick Thomas may not have been in the band for very long, but he surely knew how to lay down a good bass track. Honestly, I could talk about aspects of each of these songs that I love. The great vibes on Oh Miss Believer are amazing and are relaxing every single time I listen. I think about the lyrics of Friend Please and how absolutely gut-wrenching they can be, and overall I think Aircatcher is an underrated gem from their entire discography. But there's one song on this album that's just a little different than the rest. I feel like it takes each element of the album that I've talked about in this video, Tyler's piano parts, the emotional and deep lyrics, the fantastic bass playing, and executes them to perfection. And that song is Taxicab. Taxicab, in my opinion, is easily the best song on this album, and one of the best songs in 21 Pilots' catalog. I'm not going to go into the exact technical, musical reasons why I think this song is great, because that's not what this video is about. This song is a piece of music that's meant to be felt. The piano that starts the track feels almost comforting, but there's more. it also has that underlying feeling that the first track gives off, a kind of somber, melancholic feeling, but that everything can be okay in the end. Then, once the full band kicks in, Nick Thomas delivers one of the best, if not the best bass line on the album, paired right along with that same piano part from the introduction. It's amazing. A little over halfway during the song, Tyler raps on a bridge section, and the lyrics in the song had already been amazing. But I'm just going to let this part play because nothing I can say is going to do it justice.
A passenger person grabbed a map and the driver inside it contrived a new route to save the past. And checked his watch and grabbed a cab, a beautifully planned taxi cab. A cab had it cleared out back and 2 men started to unpack. Driving once again, but now this time there were 3 men. And then I heard one of them say, I know the night will turn to gray. I know the stars will start to fade when all the darkness fades away. We had to steal him from his fate so he could see another day. Then I cracked open my box, someone must have picked the lock. A little light revealed the spot where my fingernails had fought. Then I pushed to open more, pushing up against the door. Then I sat up off the floor and found the breath I was searching for. That they were 3 men up front, all I saw were backs of heads. And then I asked, am I alive and well, or am I dreaming dead? Then one turned around to say, we're driving toward the morning sun, where all your blood is washed away and all you did will be undone.
I've seen a lot of discourse online over the years about what this part of the song really means. I've seen some people say it's a massive metaphor for Tyler overcoming his depression and anxious thoughts and starting life anew. I've seen it said that it's one big metaphor for embracing God in your life. And while I do think a lot of that is a bit overdramatic, it's clear that these words were written with purpose. They were written with feeling. And every time I hear that bridge, that feeling swells up in me time and time again. To me personally, I think the song is about overcoming your troubles, those habits and things about yourself that you want to change. We all have them. And I think this song is saying it is possible to overcome them. I understand that this album is not perfect. With as much good things as I've said about this album, there's definitely some problems. But I truly believe that there's more to this album than it gets credit for. If you're going to take one thing from this video, it's to please go listen to Taxi Cab and give this album a chance. You never know, you might just find a song that really makes you feel something. A song that really resonates with you and that you can relate to. And really, isn't that what music, what art is really all about? Feeling something? Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one.